Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero here, Clark Commando 1983, and it's just a hair after midnight, so technically it's Monday, March 18th, 2024, and cancer's been a real bitch lately. But anyways, I'm here to do part 8 of my World War One deep dive, Der Weltkrieg. And I'm here to do the Central Powers turn 4 of August 1914. And so we're going to walk through it, and I'm trying to give you an angle where I can show you some stuff. I know I'm not exactly zoomed in or ideal, but I do want to go over a couple of things. That in my last video, if you watched it, had a couple of rules questions that I came up with, and I looked them up and got my answer, and really enjoying this. This may be my last video for this series just because I am slowed down by cancer, and I need to get GMT's Unconditional Surrender on the table, because that's what I'll be playing when, fingers crossed, I go to the GMT weekend at the warehouse out here in California in April, which is about 5-6 weeks out. And of course, I'll do some videos on that game, which I did play about 8 years ago. And but I look forward to doing that. I'll eventually get back to Der Weltkrieg. Yeah, well, hopefully. And but anyway, so here we go. So there was a question I came up with, and may or may not, hopefully watch my last video. One of them was, um, did rivers count towards the movement point cost for railroads to reduce the movement point cost? So the answer is yes, it does. And it's actually pretty clear in the rules. But if you remember, these solid lines here are primary railroads. And basically, a primary railroad will reduce the cost to enter a hex by 1 if the terrain cost, which would include the river, is 3 or more. So if it costs 3 or more, it actually reduces it to 2. The secondary railroads, which are the dashed lines, which I don't know that you can see that well with the zoom factor I've got, but they're dashed lines, and they have some other restrictions, but they reduce movement costs by 1 for a hex that costs 4 or more movement points. So I wanted to cover that. And then I believe another question I had, I might have called it something else in the other video, but it's actually column movement. You can start adjacent to an enemy unit, but if you don't enter or another hex in a ZOC, zone of control, you can multiply your movement factor by 1.5. So, okay. So that being said, we're here to do the Central Powers turn 4. And the first thing we're going to check for is see if there's any reinforcements that enter. And I don't believe there is, but I'm going to go ahead and look. And that's section 25, I think. Let's see here. I believe it's 25. Yes. So let's see. There's the French. And this is in the scenario book. British. Where's the damn Germans? Come on, Mark. Well, it's actually rule section 24. My bad. And 24.5 is Germans reinforcement. We're on turn 4. And actually, so there's no German reinforcements yet. So that phase is done. Central Powers land movement phase. Okay, so we're going to go take care of that. And before we do that, we're going to see what's mobilized right now. This is turn 4. Let's see what we get to mobilize, because remember in the first few turns there is a mobilization schedule. And honestly, it's not that bad. I've found that what I've been doing is, and I use the historical units, which you don't have to, but so turn 4. So all engineers are released, all 6.5s or 5.5 infantry divisions, and all 2.5 infantry brigades. Okay. And then next turn, everybody will be released for the Germans and the French, but this is turn 4. So all 6.5 or 5.5 infantry divisions and all 2.5 infantry brigades. Okay, so that kind of makes that pretty simple. And there again, that's in the Western Front 1914, 1918 scenario book, just to show you. I am playing the latest Sterling Edition rules. And we do have oh my goodness here. I want to, my goodness, my feet are killing me. Yeah, just to show you, since it is my last video for right now, using the Sterling Edition rules. Okay. So we're going to do land movement. And let's see if I can do this without blocking the camera. And I'm finally glad I got back to this, because boy, I tell you, it's been really rough lately. So we're going to start, I think, down south here. Now, if you remember, the French, which they haven't done, and I'm sadly won't get to, I might do one more video, but I doubt it, just because I do want to get unconditional surrender on the table. But the French are basically moving north and northeast, because in their turn, actually by turn 5, their 6.4 and 7.4s all have to launch some kind of attack. That represents their plan 17. So the German plan has been basically down here to just kind of get ready to absorb that attack. Way south down here, if you remember from last video, just to cause some demoralization points, the French did advance. There's not a lot of forces here, and these 3/4 haven't been released yet. And we do get these 8.5s for the Germans that have been released. And I think we're pretty happy with that. And what did I say? Yeah, the 2.4 brigades have been released. They're going to stay in their forts here. And maybe they haven't been. In the 2.5s, we're going to go ahead and hold our ground. Well, actually, I think this stack here, just because it makes sense, will move up. And this is a greenish hex, which is, what is that? Is that broken? No, wooded rough. So wooded rough costs 4 movement points. So, but we are going to move up because it's a little bit better defensive terrain. Don't have enough movement to get here. So we'll stay right there. With the 5.5s back here being released, let's see, I want to edge them towards the front. I think we will. Here we get the HQ, some 2.4s. We're not planning on any attacks down here, so we're going to leave the HQ there. I think we're pretty happy with this. We got no real reason to move the engineer up or the HQ here. Might be a little safer. We'll go ahead and move these engineers up here north a little bit. A little bit safer there with some troops, just in case. And where the main action is going to be is, oh boy, and we did, like I said, I did make a mistake earlier in the game. So I'll just leave it as is now. I moved my engineers and converted some rails, and I shouldn't have done that. Oh, this looks like it got bumped. Where should this be? Oh, this is here. Okay. Those are the railhead markers. Just shows, you know, where the French railheads exit. We're going to go ahead, though. Oh, Bastogne. Yep. We're going to leave the cavalry on top. What's this? We don't want to leave this hanging out here like that, do we? So we're going to go, let's see. I think we'll go 2 movement points there. Get that with the cavalry. And what do we get in this hex here? Kind of brace ourselves for the coming attack, I suppose. We are gonna do some attacking up north. Like I said, here we're just kind of getting in a position, maybe getting a little too conservative, but we'll see. It would be interesting to play this against somebody, just to see how they would react. So 2, the woods, that's a wood to get into there. 4, we do want somebody with the 3rd Army HQ. And we're going to work our artillery towards the front. Let's see here. And the infantry. So let's see. Let's go 2. Like I said, I might be getting a little too conservative. But I'm going to do that. Oh, wait. No, we're not. We're going to want to stay there because we want to keep this surrounded. We are going to move that. Let's see. Let's put this here. We're going to edge these guys 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. Probably could 5, 6, and the engineer don't count. We're going to get the siege artillery. Can always move 1 hex. We're going to get the siege artillery across. Let's see what we got here. The 8-5. No need to move that. Okay, Mark. We don't want to lose track here. I'll show you why but we're also going to get the infantry division here across. And we'll leave the engineer there. We're going to go ahead and move a siege gun here. Another one here. And another one here. And I probably should have done this in a little better order. We're going to move these reserve divisions up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can stack 3 artillery on top of that. Whoops, that's 2. Okay. Let's see if my cancer fingers can stay in control of that. And we're going to get a siege gun there. Put that guy there. And we did that. And I just like to keep my infantry on the bottom. This is probably taking, I don't know, it might, like I said, maybe I'm being a little too conservative with what I got going on. And we're gonna get this guy to there. And that's the damn mountain hex, isn't it? Let's see, can we get another siege artillery in there? No, you can only have 3 artillery. You only have 3 artillery in a hex, so let's see, mountain hex here. It's going to be... Alright, this is where I'm going to use some strategic movement, I think. Or column movement, because I'm not adjacent. And let's see here, that is a rough hex. And a rough hex costs 3 movement points. And 5 times 1.5, 7.5, so 3. And that's 4, 5, 6. So we can get all the way out to here. Can't go to here because that would be adjacent to there. And we're going to just bump this siege artillery to there. And this will stay there. And we'll kind of ooze these guys up towards the front. Like I said, I'm not a super ideal player, so, and maybe I'm being a little too conservative, so, but I'm kind of happy, I think, where we got everything positioned. Can't move these 2 4s yet. I believe it was the 2 5s that were released. I can move these 5 5 reserve divisions here, so they got mobilized. So as an example, it may not be ideal, but this hex would normally cost 2 for the woods, and 1 for the river is 3, but there's a primary rail, so that costs 2. And we'll go there through the broken is 3. And we can get into this hex for 4. So get some reserve divisions up there towards the front. Okay. So hopefully I didn't block out everything when doing the movement. It's kind of the hard part doing these learn to play after action reports. Can't quite see until I'm done. And glad you're here to watch and tune in. I do get a lot of joy out of this, and I really wish I could continue this. It's just I've been so slow on everything, and I apologize to you guys that have been waiting. So it's just very difficult. So what we're gonna do, as a little reminder, the only attack we're gonna do, and remember, each month is 7 turns. And my hope is, and we're not going to be able to play it out, so I guess I'll have to wait till next time, as even if I do one more turn, we won't get all the way. But what we're going to do here, is of course to reduce Liège and then Namur, and then hopefully race through. But if you look, like these forts need to be reduced, and that's the key thing for the artillery, the siege artillery. Now, I could launch like a massive attack with all my infantry, which would cost a ton of supply points, and it'd be a lot of casualties because the forts are very strong, and they're tripled, and they're just like everything else. And then, but what I'm going to do here, and it's per the rules, is I'm only using my artillery and my siege artillery to attack the fort, and the defender can only counterattack with artillery units. So I'm hoping I want to hopefully reduce the fort enough to make a big attack, which will be bloody, but be less bloody if, you know, and I'll give you, for example, let me show you here. Hopefully I'm not blocking the camera. In Liège, because we are going to do this attack with the German artillery and siege artillery, the fort is knocked down to a strength of 20 plus 11. So they're still at 31. And if I threw all the infantry in and stuff to attack, I mean, no doubt I would have a really high strength attack, would eat up a ton of, oh, I do need to move this HQ up some, don't I? Oh, and this. 2, 3. So we're going to do that with the First Army and the siege gun. Anyways, but a counterattack with that would be times 3. So 31, 93, plus I would get to throw in the 8 factors of infantry, and that would be another 24. So you're talking like a huge counterattack ability. But by me only using the siege guns in the fort, none of that matters. And also, you know, they're out of supply, but you'd have to wait, like, it's a lot of turns to get a fort that big to eliminate it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up, and then each hex that the siege artillery comes from is a +1 to the die roll. So we're going to be attacking with 8, 16, 24, 28, 32, 36, 39, and 42, because I have another 3. So 42 factors of artillery attacking the fort. Oh, shit. With a +1, so 42 with a +1 for each hex, so that's +3, because I have siege guns in 3 hexes now. And we're going to roll the dice over here, and we get a 3 plus 3 is a 6, and that's 9. So we're going to knock that fort down by 9. So it's going to go from 31. It's 31 minus 9. Okay, Mark, is 22. So we're going to go in here and see if we have a 2-factor fort. I don't know if we do. You can mark your losses in different ways. Nope, that's 3. I guess I could do the 3 and then I'll do a -1. So, and we'll see. At some point, Germans are going to have to buck up and maybe be willing to accept the losses. Oh, and so with 40, shit, what did I do? 42 factors, I think, of it. That's going to be supply. I got to expend the supply. That's still a lot of supply. Is each supply point does 2 factors of artillery. So I got to do 21 supply points. So let's mark the fort here, though. So it's going to be down to 22. So we're going to leave the 20. We're going to need the -1 strength. And that's going to go right on top of this 3-factor fort to show that it's 2. And you can see your stacks get pretty high in this game. You can use core markers. There are off-map display for cores that are there. And I'm obviously not using them, and I have no idea if the strategy I'm using for the Germans is good or not. But at some point, so 21 supply points. And my eligible HQs are the first and second. So the first army's down to 98 supply points, and the second is down to 90. And we could use either one. So I'm going to split it. I'm going to do 10 from the second army. That's going to go from 90 to 80. And I'm going to do 11 from the first army. So that'll go from 98 to 87. And there we go. All right. And we don't have an unlimited supply points. So they're pretty important in Der Weltkrieg. So let's see. I said this will be my last video and for this for a bit. I've really enjoyed kind of diving back in. I'm looking forward to putting this up and, like I said, getting unconditional surrender rolling. I really wish I could have got more done with this, and I apologize. And if you've watched this far, very much appreciate you. I will get back to Der Weltkrieg, and I have these, I'm setting these up in a playlist so you can watch them in order. Maybe have a cup of coffee while you do, or, but, you know, I really enjoy the unique map, kind of grows on you, this whole Hexside thing. I've got all the games, ideally, and I doubt will ever happen, but someday I'd love to do a full campaign of this. If you like it, and I always should say this at the beginning of my videos, like and subscribe. It's always helpful. And I hope that you've enjoyed the little bit that I've been able to get done. And I did use, just to recap a couple things, did use the historical designation for units to set up in the armies. You don't have to do that. You can say, oh, if it's a 6.5 infantry, you can, you know, pull anyone you want. I do know that in like the West Front, East Front games are separate games. So some of the units are duplicated. My sorting strategy with this series is going to be by front and then the divisions. And then it always will be to pull the historical designations, which is a little more pain in the ass, but hey, I like it, you know, but just to be clear, you don't have to. You know, just as long as you're keeping your number of types of divisions straight. Supply system's really simple. I really hope you give this game a chance. Tannenberg is a game that's available for about 25 bucks. You could try it out, see if you like it. My friend over in Nanguaya, Chris, on his channel, he's like been doing a deep dive on this series for quite a while. Highly recommend it. And when I get around to editing, which I hope I can do soon, I will add a link to his channel. And I guys, hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing this for you. I just love wargaming. Thank you all so much. All right. Take care. We'll talk soon. Bye.